Hi everybody, my name is Emily Lazar. I'm a psychologist and I work in the Counseling Center at Appalachian State. I'm talking with you today about ways to cope if you're experiencing a panic attack. I know this is a time where we're all dealing with some extra anxiety and concern about our health, so I hope you're able to find something useful to you in this video. I want to tell you a little bit about what a panic attack is in the first place. It's basically a very intense experience of fear. It can happen pretty quickly, and it does resolve within usually an hour. So it is a temporary experience, but during that time, a lot of folks feel like it's very all-consuming and that they can't pay attention to many other things. It's important to know that a panic attack is a natural physical response for us, but the thing that can make it scary is that generally it's happening out of context. So if you look at the things that happen to someone's body during a panic attack, they're really similar actually to what might be happening to somebody's body if they're doing a very intense workout or if they are feeling angry or excited. But really what can make it so scary is that maybe it's happening without a clear trigger, or it's happening in a different context where somebody wouldn't expect it. Although there are some folks who experience panic attacks with very clear triggers, and they might be able to predict ahead of time what situations bring that up for them. I usually like to think of a metaphor of a really sensitive car alarm to explain panic attacks to folks. So the physiological changes during a panic attack are driven by our sympathetic nervous system, which is the same kind of response that's happening when we're in a fight or flight situation. So that's designed to protect us. It's something that our body does to help us very quickly move toward action, either running away or fighting, or maybe freezing up to kind of protect ourselves in a situation that is threatening to our physical well-being. And that can be very helpful to keep us safe. But sometimes that response can happen when we're confronted with something distressing, even though it is not directly threatening our physical well-being or our life. So maybe that's a really worrying thought or a really difficult situation going on in our life. Sometimes that can still flip the switch to get that sympathetic nervous system going and bring us into fight or flight. So it's almost as if your car alarm was activated if a small leaf fell on it versus if it was activated when somebody was trying to break in. So that shows you that your car alarm is working, but that maybe it's fairly sensitive and that you have to kind of sort through how your body's responding to the context. So we can see how panic attacks can be pretty scary, and they can mimic symptoms of even more serious health concerns, but they're not necessarily dangerous, and they are highly treatable. These are some possible symptoms of a panic attack, and you can see that they're broken down into physiological symptoms as well as cognitive and emotional symptoms such as fear of dying. And if you look at these make a lot of sense in the context of those changes that happen during fight or flight, because when our body is getting set to respond to a threat, we're going to see an increased heart rate, increased rate of breathing, trying to, or having the blood in our body flow to different parts of the body, more toward our vital organs. We're going to see our digestion shut down. So that kind of gives some meaning to why some of these things are happening during a panic attack. If you are wondering and trying to figure out, is this a panic attack or is this a different kind of medical event that I need to seek help for, the best thing to do is to consult a medical professional when that's accessible to you. But here are some other ideas about things that you can think about when you're trying to sort through that. There will also be a couple of links to articles in the description for this video that talk about additional ways to kind of distinguish between panic and something else. So we've already talked about some different reasons why panic attacks happen, but a lot of it has to do with context and interpretation. The difference between experiencing a panic attack or not really comes down to often what meaning we make of a particular situation we're in. So if you are wanting to kind of reduce the intensity or frequency of panic attacks, you can look at maybe what are some thoughts and behaviors that come right before the panic attack or during it, and what are some changes that can be made in those areas so that ultimately the feeling is easier to manage. Some prevention steps that can help kind of reduce your vulnerability to panic over time are listed here. Some of them might sound pretty basic, but are really essential. So good sleep hygiene, regular eating, hydration, paying attention to maybe the kind of media you're consuming before you go to sleep and as you move throughout your day. All that's going to help kind of give you the energy so that you can regulate your emotions and give your body what it needs. Trying to limit caffeine if you can. I know that's a hard one. That can maybe reduce some of those jittery feelings, racing heart or breathlessness. Physical activity and other forms of stress management are really a good outlet. And if you are moving your body, that might help you feel like you have a better relationship with your body and maybe be able to more readily tolerate some of those uncomfortable physical symptoms that might come with panic. And sometimes folks find it beneficial to keep a log of their panic attacks so they can identify patterns or triggers over time and feel a little more in control. What if you did all those things and panic attacks are still happening? There are even more strategies that can be used to help in the middle of a panic attack or kind of proactively. One is encouraging self-talk. So maybe these are things that you write down in advance and then you pull out to look at when panic is happening, but they could be along the lines of, this is really scary right now and I know I'm still safe and it's not dangerous for me. Or I have gotten through this before and I can do it again. Or I know this is temporary, it feels awful right now and I know it won't last forever. Physical relaxation is a very quick way to activate your parasympathetic nervous system and reverse some of that fight or flight and to be able to help you feel more calm physiologically. So there are some awesome techniques listed there. Grounding is a way to kind of slow down your brain and give it something else to do rather than focusing in on just how badly those panic symptoms are feeling and how much you want it to be over. So you can engage your 5 senses, trying to think about what can you see, hear, feel, taste, or smell to bring you into the present moment. Getting social support, so talking with other people about how you're feeling and having them help you kind of walk through or talk through a panic attack. And consultation with a medical or other mental health expert so that you can get feedback and a plan that's specific to you from a professional. This article is from a website called The Mighty, and it asks people in their community to talk about creative ways that they deal with a panic attack, and there's some really fun ideas in there. So that link will also be in the description for the video. So thanks for taking the time to listen. If you would like additional resources, please visit the Counseling Center's website to find out more about our services. On our website, there are also self-help materials specific to panic, so you can learn more there. And if you want to see some more content about coping skills and get to learn more about our staff, you can check out our videos and other posts through Instagram and YouTube. We hope you'll follow us and see more of us. Keep taking care of yourselves, and thanks for being with me today.